Twin Terror, I'm Gary, and I'm with Not David and Little Lemonhead. So it's Monday, April the 6th. Um, we got a couple things coming up tomorrow. Um, one that's been making all the headlines, and one that we might have uh, forgotten a little bit about. The one that we isn't grabbing as much headlines, and we might have kind of lost sight of it, um, is in Georgia's 14th district. They're having their election on Tuesday to elect a House of Representatives member to finish out Marjorie Taylor Greene's term. And you got Shawn Harris as the Democratic candidate, and he's going up against Clay Fuller, who's the Republican candidate. Now, the thing is, the 14th district in Georgia is arguably the reddest district in Georgia. Trump carried that district by like 30 points or something like that. It was ridiculous. Um, Shawn Harris, he he captured the most votes in the primary, but the Republicans had a number of candidates. So, uh, the Republicans now can in theory, unite behind a single candidate. Um, Shawn Harris, his percentage of the vote in the primary run up to this was a little bit better than he did during the election against Marjorie Taylor Greene, but it wasn't like significantly better. It was like he got 38% versus 37%, right? Um, so it's going to be interesting to see if there's enough independents and Republicans in this ruby red district that are willing to step away from Trump. Looking at the betting lines, it's not looking good for him. So we'll throw some cards for entertainment purposes only. Just how's it looking for Shawn Harris? What his chances are for flipping Marjorie Taylor Greene's old seat from Republican to Democrat. Um, and victory might not look like what we want it to look like. But let's take a look at this, shall we? We'll start with that. Entertainment purposes only. Um, how's it looking for Shawn Harris in Georgia's 14th district? You got the moon card. This is about confusion, not having a clear path forward, distractions, um, not a it's definitely not the sun card, right? The cross is the Queen of Pentacles. He's probably someone that can take care of the people in Georgia in the 14th district, but they don't necessarily want the person that cares. The wild card here is, Trump's actions have been very polarizing and they've been very confusing. And there's a number of Republicans that are like, nope, this isn't what we signed up for. He was supposed to be taking care of us, and instead he seems to be taking care of his cronies. Energy underneath it is the World card. It's bringing the cycle to the end. We are now completing this cycle. So far, these aren't necessarily bad cards for Shawn Harris. But I'm very skeptical. In the past, you had the Nine of Cups, the hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. This is just, to me, this is just MAGA dominating a heavily Republican district. Trump could do whatever he wanted. Current energy is the Magician. Can he manifest some sort of rally to show people, hey, I can take care of you. You don't need to worry about the oligarchs and the rich people. Let's try a different path, because the current path is very confusing. Overarching energy, though, is the Five of Pentacles. Just a lot of chaos, a lot of fighting. To me, what this card's telling me is just this is more about the primary leading up to this runoff election, where there were so many Republican candidates sort of dividing up the vote. But now, they're going to be coalescing behind a single candidate. And can he manifest some sort of victory with all this chaos and confusion? And this, of course, this could also just be the chaos and confusion caused by Trump and the Republicans that aren't doing anything. Gas wasn't $6 a gallon when they had these primaries. So this could change some people's opinions on where this is going. Lesson to be learned, you got the Six of Wands. This is about the victory card. What is a victory here? Is victory actually winning the election? Or is a victory starting to sway this deep red population towards blue? In other words, if he got 37% against Marjorie Taylor Greene, what if he gets 45% or 47% against Shawn Harris or against Clay Fuller? That is, in a way, is a victory because he's closing the gap and he's reaching out to people and he's showing people that there is a different way, a different path forward. So victory, it might not look exactly like, hey, he got 51% of the vote and now he's in Congress for the next 8 months. Outcome, Two of Swords. Yeah, you've got a choice. You got a choice. This is not giving me much here. Yes, voters have a choice. They can choose to vote or not to vote. They can choose to vote Republican. They can choose to vote Democrat. What do they choose? What are the voters going to choose? Someone that gives them someone who they feel they have the strongest relationship with. I'll just throw a couple more. Someone that's going to make their life easier. And someone who's going to do something. So only the voters know what that means. I mean, I know what I would like the outcome to be. But I'm not going to be wish casting here. Like I said, probably the best indicator what the betting lines are. And the betting lines are pretty heavily favoring Clay Fuller. I'd be happy to be wrong on that. The other item happening tomorrow, which has been dominating the headlines, is Trump is giving Iran till tomorrow evening. Let me get the exact time. All right, it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's Trump's deadline for Iran to open up the Strait of Hormuz. A lot of other countries have kind of worked out deals with Iran to let their tankers through the strait. I saw an article that the strait had the highest level of activity today that it has basically since Trump decided that bombing Iran was a good idea. So Trump's got a deadline of 8 o'clock Tuesday night. That'll be 5 o'clock Pacific time. I did a video that I put out on Saturday afternoon. I think it was if Trump was going to taco on this or not. The cards were a little disturbing. If he goes through with it, it was bad. It was going to be really bad. And then he comes out with his rhetoric on Tuesday, a couple hours after I did my reading. And yeah, what he was saying was exactly what I was feeling when I was looking at those cards. Like, not nuclear, but like war crime type activity. Short of nuclear wars, nuclear weapons, but definitely well into the wheelhouse of war criminal. So let's take a look at how are things looking for the U.S. and Iran. Tuesday at 8 o'clock DC time is 000 Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, let's see. Oops. How are things looking for the U.S. and Iran peace negotiations, I guess? King of Wands. So some bold actions need to be taken or will have been taken. The challenge is trying to get an agreement. To me, this is Trump's blustering. his threats of what's going to happen if you cannot come to an agreement with us. Energy underneath it, the Page of Cups. Because Trump believes his own rhetoric, he believes his own press, and he's, you know, he's invoking God's will. He thinks God's in support of all this nonsense. In the past, temperance, trying to try. Now, okay, this is a very interesting card because I don't think anyone that's watching this video, including the person yapping right now, has thought Trump has used any kind of temperance or balance to detoxify this situation. It's been nothing but amplified rhetoric. Maybe in the past, under previous administrations, there was temperance to try and strike some balance with Iran's energy needs and or nuclear ambitions to incentivize them to not pursue them. I'm going to say this is well before Trump. Current energy is the Seven of Swords. Trump has already played his cards face up. I'm a businessman. I want their oil because I can make a lot of money selling their oil. He's looking at their oil fields and just seeing dollar signs. And he wants to take those resources away from them. Take it when they're not looking. I saw some comment, I don't know when he said it, it might have been yesterday. He goes, I could take their resources, but the American public doesn't seem to have the stomach for boots on the ground. I mean, what the hell, Trump? That was your whole campaign promise. No more foreign wars, no more endless wars. And look at you now. Because he sees that all that oil that he thinks he can make money off of. So how's it looking for the next, on Tuesday for U.S. and Iran's peace? They've got a lot of work to do. The negotiations, right now it's just Trump making demands, and you better agree to them. And my demands are crazy, but behind the scenes, I guess they have to work. They got a lot of work to do, or it's just basically Trump looking at the oil and thinking how much money I can make on this. Lesson to be learned. Six of Wands. Trump's going to declare victory no matter what happens. Victory will be declared. And that's my feeling here. Outcome is the Two of Wands. Actions that you're going to take that will impact the future. What actions is Trump going to take? Well, let's throw some cards on that. Let's look at the actions of Trump versus the actions of Iran. So right now it's just like he's made his demands, and you better agree to them. I want to steal your oil and make lots of money, and I'm going to declare victory because he's looking for an off ramp. So, he'll do whatever. His off ramp, no matter what happens, no matter what off ramp he takes, he's going to declare victory because that's just how he is. He can't. His ego is too big to admit defeat or admit losing. We got the whole 2020 election to prove that, right? All right, so let's take a look at this. Just a quick four-carder. Trump on this side. Let's do Iran on this side. Trump on the right. What are the actions that are going to be taken? So we have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands are the actions that are going to affect the future. The linkage I've got here is the Hermit, finding that path forward. So for Iran, what are they going to do? Knight of Pentacles. They'll make an offer because they feel that they don't, that their hands are tied. There was a general who said that Iran still has a couple cards to play, and they were threatening to blow up this AI data center or something like that. It's a very expensive data center. You've got the Ten of Wands, the burden, and then there's that Eight of Pentacles. Man, that would almost have been better Trump card. If that was Trump, it would be give me your money, and he's basically painted himself and them into a corner. He's looking for that off ramp, and he wants the money. He wants things of value. Let's say, okay, so, and the linkage once again is how do you get that path forward? So let's say if this was Iran, you got the victory card, the Six of Wands. God, they almost feel like both like Trump cards. The challenge is, you give a little, but you get a lot. Not happy with the choices that you're being offered. We need to show strength. Okay, so it's back to the original. So if this is Iran, they'll make some sort of offering because they feel they have little choice, and they've just there's so many actions that are burdening them. This could be like all of the sanctions that are being levied against them, and all the bombing that's being levied against their infrastructure, or what could happen if they don't come up with some sort of agreement. And coming up with things of value, working hard behind the scenes. On Trump, he'll declare victory. He'll give them a pittance, but expect a lot. It's not, I've got to show that I'm strong, but probably what he would get from them isn't what he wants. Once again, Iran's in a unique position where all they have to do is survive. They don't have to win this war. They just have to hang on. If the U.S. does not get regime change, if the U.S. does not open up that Strait of Hormuz and keep it open and prevent Iran from closing it down again, if the U.S. does not eradicate their ability to wage war, then Iran will have won, because it will take them time to rebuild, and they will get to work rebuilding, and it will take a lot of work to get there, but they'll find that path forward. And Trump will be in trouble because he will have put the United States in a much weaker position than it was prior to unloading a lot of missiles on them. All right, so more to come. Let's just a quickie, one more quickie. Is Trump going to chicken? Is he going to taco on this? Just real quick, is Trump going to taco on this? One card. High Priestess. Well, it's a secret. At this time, I don't know, and the cards aren't going to tell me. So, secrets are going to be kept. So, we'll see what happens. I would be absolutely thrilled if they were able to come up with some sort of a ceasefire and a cease and desist on this. There are too many people dying in this world already. There's, Trump's out there saying, we can't afford Medicare and Medicaid. We need more money to fight wars. We need a huge $1.5 trillion defense budget. And we can cut all these other programs that basically help people. Because that's what MAGA voted for. They didn't realize that's what they voted for, but that's what they voted for. So, lucky us. Yay. Anyways, I hope you're all doing great. Hopefully I'll hear from David soon. And we're going to be live with Marina tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. That'll be 9 o'clock Eastern, 1 hour after Trump's deadline. So stay tuned. That might be an interesting live stream. Hope you're all doing great. Let's give you a card to send you on your way up. The star card. You're definitely the star of my show. So hope you all have a great day, folks. Take care. Bye now.